Good evening from my part of the world. I trust all is well with you. Another week has begun. Today it's Sunday. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Life will not pause for your pain. Life will not pause for your pain. Your pain is legit. You have a reason to feel it. But life will not pause because of your pain. So you pick the pieces and you march on regardless. Life will not wait for your healing or readiness. Therefore, rise, gather what is left and move. Progress begins when you refuse to stay broken. Things will happen. People will hurt us. We'll get into situations that will break our souls. But hey, life will not pause because we are hurting. Life will not pause because you are healing. Life does not pause because of your pain. Therefore, gather your strength, pick up the pieces, and keep marching forward. Rebuilding is awesome. You can reset, you can rebuild whatever age, whatever level of life you are. Once you get the awareness that this is not the life I want, you can reset, you can rebuild. And the beautiful thing about it is this time around, you are not starting from ground zero. Don't allow anybody to disabuse your mind. When you are rebuilding, you are not starting from ground zero. Everything you have learned, everything you have been through, the lessons thereof will enable you to rebuild faster. So, what took you all this while? You realize that when you are rebuilding, you would be able to build momentum easily because you are not building from ground zero. You are building from great experience. Life does not pause for your pain. Therefore, gather your strength, pick up the pieces, and keep marching forward. Life is an unpredictable journey. An unpredictable journey full of beauty, struggle, and transformation. It moves in a rhythm that does not slow down for anyone's grief or heartbreak. When pain strikes, whether from loss, disappointment, or betrayal, wherever that pain is coming from, disappointment or betrayal, loss, it can feel as if the world should stop and acknowledge our suffering. You don't understand how everything is going on beautifully when you are struggling internally. But that is life. That is life. It can feel as if the world should stop. You would feel you want to get into a place to ask yourself, how come nobody else is feeling my pain? Yes, that is life. Yet the sobering truth remains that life does not pause for our pain. The sun still rises, the clock ticks, and the world keeps moving. Everything will still function normally. In those moments, the challenge before us is not to beg for life to wait, but to gather the strength, within us. Pick up the scattered pieces of ourselves and keep marching forward. Because life will not wait for any of us. It doesn't matter your brokenness. Life will not pause. So you pick up the scattered pieces of your life and keep marching forward. Pain is inevitable, but you see, paralysis is a choice. We all go through pain. All of us go through pain. But to allow that pain to destroy you is another thing altogether. Okay? It's another thing altogether. Whether you allow that pain to destroy you or not, sorry about that. It's another thing altogether. So, yes, you can be down in your lowest moment, but you can still arise and march on regardless. Everything that happens, we are in charge. We are in charge. You can stay broken for the rest of your life, or you can pick the lessons of your brokenness and build the life you desire. Pain is inevitable, but as to whether you would stay in paralysis is a choice. It's just like somebody telling me some years ago that poverty is a choice, and as African as I am, I got offended. Pain is inevitable. Sometimes the pain is not your problem. You had nothing to do with you, regardless of the interpretation people will give you. The pain might not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. And if you allow yourself to get broken, it would be a choice. If you do nothing with your pain, that is still choosing to live that way. So pain is inevitable, but paralysis is a choice. Every human being experiences moments that breaks their spirit. Every human being, one way or the other. Just like I always say, in life, it's either you've been through something, going through something, or you are going to go through something. That is life. So every human being, not yesterday, not today, but probably tomorrow, every human being experiences moments that break their spirit, dreams that collapse, relationships that fail, or loved ones, they lose loved ones. These moments can, these moments can shake the foundation of your life if you're not really grounded. It can shake the very foundations of your existence. But the longer we allow ourselves to be held hostage by the pain, the more we surrender our power to the very thing that wounded us. The longer we allow ourselves to be held hostage by the pain, the more we surrender our power to the very thing that wounded us. So the other time I did this example, this is water in a bottle. It is not about the weight of it, but the longer I hold on to this, the heavier it becomes in my hand. The heavier it becomes in my hands. The longer I hold on to it. So the longer we allow ourselves to be held hostage by the pain, the more we surrender our power to the very thing that wounded us. Life demands resilience, not resignation. It demands that we fight, not to just give up easily and to get into the negativity and think nothing good can come out of our situation. To rise again is not to deny the hurt, but to acknowledge it and still choose motion over misery. Did you understand what I just said? Life demands resilience, not resignation. In order for us to rise again, we have to not to deny the hurt. We are hurting. We acknowledge that, but we still choose motion over misery. Healing often begins when we take that first trembling step forward. That even in your tears, you are still marching forward. That even in your pain, you still have hope. You still know you can rebuild. Healing often begins when we take that first trembling step forward, no matter how heavy our hearts feels. No matter how heavy our heart feels, we still take that first baby steps. And once we take that first baby step, you'll be amazed how courage will come and how you'll be able to take the one right step, the next right step, and motions take over instead of misery. Gathering strength is not an act of pretending to be unhurt. It doesn't mean you don't accept the fact or you are living the denial state where you don't understand that things have happened, that your life has run into what you never bargained for, that this is not the life you desired, the life you planned. It is not pretending to be unhurt. It is the quiet decision to fight for your future despite the wounds of the past. Gathering strength is not an act of pretending to be unhurt. It is that quiet decision to fight. Fight for the future you desire, the future you want, despite the wounds of the past. Strength is built in the silence of endurance. Listen, a lot of things happen to us in this life. It would break your soul. You'll be betrayed, you'll be disappointed. Things will really happen. Sometimes, like, it's not like you didn't know what you were about. You had the timeline, you had the vision, you had the plans, but life just happens. Do you fold in the towel, throw in the towel, and accept mediocrity and stay in there? No, you fight. So it doesn't mean you don't acknowledge that this is not the life you plan. It doesn't mean you don't acknowledge that you are hurting. It doesn't mean you don't acknowledge that you are wounded. But life demands resilience, not resignation. To rise again is not to deny the hurt. It's not to deny that some nonsense has happened to you. It's not to deny that you've been betrayed, that you've even betrayed yourself by allowing mediocrity to engulf the totality of your life. It is not to deny the hurt, but to acknowledge it and still choose motion over mystery. So you are crying, you are disappointed, you feel betrayed, and yet even in your tears, you know you can reset, you can rebuild your life, the beautiful life you deserve. You know you can do it, regardless of your age, regardless of your background. You wipe your tears and you fight. You get to work for the life you deserve. Gathering strength is not an act of pretending to be unhurt. It is the quiet decision to fight. Fight for your future. Fight for the future you desire, the future you want, despite the wounds of the past. Despite the disappointment, the betrayal of the past, you still get to a place where you say enough is enough. Like Esther, if I perish, let me perish. I would march on. I will fight because I deserve a better future. A future that will not just come to me, but a future that I have to make it happen. So you arise and build, rebuild. Whatever it takes, you pay the price. Strength is built in the silence of endurance, in the unseen battles of the mind and soul. It grows when you refuse to give up on yourself. Everybody and anybody can give up on you, but you dare not give up on yourself. You deserve that beautiful future you envisage. You deserve it, and you can get to work and make it happen. Strength is built in the silence of endurance, in the unseen battles of the mind and soul. When you tell your soul that I deserve better, therefore I will do better. Strength grows when you refuse to give up on yourself, even when others no longer believe in you. Everybody can give up on you. You dare not give up on yourself. It is in moments of despair that we discover that we are truly what we are truly made of. It is when everybody gives up on you. It is when everything is against you that your brain gets to work and realize that there is more in you. You have no idea. That you are made for more and you can do more and you can become more. It is in moments of despair that we discover what we are truly made of. What we are truly made of. Many a time is in moments of despair. When bibia agye guna unim se ni daso mfi baby ama no, yeah, that is when you get to work. And all the forces of creation come to your help. Because that one, it is between you and life. It is the plan A or nothing else. And you make it happen. So many a time, it is in moments of despair that we discover what we are truly made of. Life storms reveal not just our limits, but our hidden capacities. The breaking point is when our hidden capacities, the courage to rebuild. You have no idea of your hidden capacities. It is in moments of despair, that you discover who you are truly made to be, what you are really made of. So life storms that we run away from, in natural sense, they are to come and reveal our hidden capacities, expose us to the courage to rebuild, the faith to hope again, and the endurance to keep moving when nothing makes sense, when your own life doesn't make sense to you. That is the time that rebuilding becomes easier. Picking up the pieces means accepting what has been broken and daring to start over. When you hear picking up the pieces, all it simply means is accepting what has been broken and daring to start over. It requires humility to admit that things have changed, and courage to create something new from the ruins, from the mess. The courage to pick the pieces and gather them together to mold something beautiful out of it. Each broken piece carries a story, a lesson, a memory. When we gather them, we are not erasing our past. We are honoring it by transforming pain into wisdom. transforming pain into wisdom, and using that wisdom to rebuild with huge experience. So, what would have taken somebody ordinarily 10 years, because you are building not from ground zero, but you are rebuilding with so much wisdom and experience, it can take you 1 calendar year and you set it up. So, when we gather these pieces, we are not erasing our past, we are honoring it by transforming pain into wisdom. The process of rebuilding is rarely perfect, but it leads to growth and depth. What once seemed like the end often becomes the beginning of something stronger and more authentic. Where you got to and you thought everything had come to an end, you will still build from that point and build something so beautiful that you wonder, how come I didn't notice this all along? How come I didn't notice this all along? Yeah, that is the beauty of rebuilding. To keep marching forward is the ultimate declaration of life. It means embracing the truth that progress is not always fast, nor is it always visible. Sometimes, simply getting out of bed, choosing to hope again, or deciding to try one more time is victory enough. Just accepting that no, I deserve more, therefore I'm getting to work and rebuilding is victory enough. Forward motion, no matter how small, is a statement of faith. Faith that life beyond pain is possible and that our story is still being written. Forward motion, the baby steps, is a statement of faith that life beyond this pain you're experiencing, that makes you feel like we are in area. Once you take that, begin taking that baby step, it's a statement you are making, a declaration to your soul that life beyond pain is possible and that your story is still being written. The road ahead may be uncertain, but stagnation guarantees nothing. Stagnation guarantees nothing. Growth and healing require movement. Growth and healing require movement. Once you stay at the same place, all you are accepting and bringing to your life is misery. It's like driving to a different town or city and you have accidents on the way and you decide to dwell at the accident scene. What will happen to you? You don't dwell at accident scenes. Or asking your family to bring you your belongings because you've had an accident and you want to dwell on the accident scene. Just like the other time I told you, begin sharing aspects of your life in imagery forms, and you see how funny they sound, how funny they seem, but that's the way we live. Anytime you feel so broken and you want to pause and you expect the world to life to equally pause for you, picture it this way. It's like having an accident on your journey to a city or a town and calling home for your belongings to be brought to you so you dwell in the accident scene. Will you do that? No. But literally, that's the way we live. The brokenness is just an accident. Once you stay in that misery, you have decided to dwell in the accident scene. That is not your destination. That's never your destination. The road ahead may be uncertain, but stagnation equally guarantees nothing. Therefore, move forward. Because growth and healing require movement. In the end, life's greatest lesson is not how we avoid pain, but how we live through the pain. Life's greatest lesson is not how we avoid pain. How can we grow if we are just avoiding every other thing that might seem like obstacles? So life's greatest lesson is not how we avoid pain, but how we live through it, how we become powerful than our pain. We may not control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. When we choose to rise, gather our strength, and continue our journey, we become living testaments to resilience. Ebedu baby, not the things that break people. You just walk through them like unscorched. Nothing has happened. You just walk through them because you have learned, taught yourself, body, soul, and spirit in agreement, how to use your pain to become your power. When we choose to rise, gather our strength, and continue our journey, we become living testaments to resilience. The world does not wait for healing, but we can walk through it with grace and courage, proving that even in the face of pain, we are capable of rebuilding, rediscovering, and rising again. Did you hear me? The world does not wait for our healing, but we can walk through it with grace and courage, proving that even in the face of pain, even in the face of betrayal, even in the face of our brokenness, we are capable of rebuilding, rediscovery, and rising again. So, yes, life will not wait for your healing or readiness. If you are waiting for life to give you the green lights indicating that now you are ready, so no, life will not wait for your healing or readiness. All you can do is to rise, gather what is left, and move. Because progress begins when you refuse to stay broken. Life is relentless. It neither slows down to match our pace nor pauses to accommodate our pain. It flows. Life flows through joy and sorrow, through triumph and tragedy with unyielding consistency. Yeah, then about 11, about 12, and then Monday is here. None of us can stop it. Regardless of our brokenness, time is oxidating. Life is relentless. It won't slow down to match our pace or pause to accommodate our pain. It flows through pain, through joy, through sorrow, through triumph, through tragedy with unyielding consistency. We are there, Ochina Beba. Regardless of how broken we find ourselves. 12 o'clock, Bebo, Monday would be here. Life won't wait for any of us. Life will not wait for any of us because it's relentless. It neither slows down to match our pace or pause to accommodate our pain. Anything can happen to any of us, and life will not wait. It will not pause. Time is still oxidating. We are there, about 11, about 12, Monday, about Tuesday, about. People will go about their lives like nothing has happened. It doesn't mean your pain is not valid, but life is relentless. It neither slows down to match our pace nor pause to accommodate our pain. It still flows through joy and sorrow, through triumph and tragedy with unyielding consistency. Unfortunately, many of us wait for that perfect moment when we feel healed, strong, or ready to begin again. Regardless of our age, once we have the awareness that we want to build the life we desire, it is possible. It is possible. Whether it's your health, your relationship, your finances, whatever aspect of your life you want to rebuild, it is possible. It is possible. Many of us are still waiting for that perfect moment when we feel healed enough, strong enough, or ready enough to begin again. No, life will leave us behind. Life will leave us behind. Because the truth is, life will not wait for our healing or our readiness. The world keeps spinning and time keeps moving forward. The courage to rise despite the ache, to gather what is left of our strength, and to keep going is what defines true resilience. So, yes, you had a plan, you had a vision, you had a timeline, you had a plan for your life. It didn't go according to plan. What do you do? Do you give up? Heck no. You fight for the life you desire. You fight for the health you desire. Progress doesn't come when the heart feels whole again. It begins the moment you refuse to stay broken. People have disappointed you, people have hurt you, but you don't stay broken. Progress comes when the heart begins, when the house refuses to stay broken. Progress doesn't come when the heart feels whole again. You'll be there until you feel whole again. No, you can never, move forward. When the heart refuses to stay broken, that is when progress comes. It doesn't come when the heart feels whole. Healing, though necessary, is often a slow and uncertain process. It does not happen on demand. It's not something that's on the shelf or a counter that you can go in there and buy and you plug in there, inject it or take a dosage of it and you are healed. Hooray, no. No, it is often a slow and uncertain process. It does not happen on demand, nor does it follow a predictable timeline. Waiting to be fully healed before you move on can easily become a prison. So you are hurting, but still move on. Waiting to be fully healed before you move can easily become a prison, a quiet, deceptive comfort zone that keeps you stuck in the past. Life demands movement, even when the soul still trembles. Even when the soul, even when your soul is still trembling, life demands movement. You may not feel ready. You may still feel wounded, but every step forward, it doesn't matter how small it is, every act of defiance against despair becomes a declaration that pain will not have the final say, that brokenness should not have the final say. Brokenness should not have and must not. It should not have the final say. It doesn't matter what has happened in your life. Brokenness should not have the final say. Healing happens in motion, not in stillness. Healing happens in motion, not in stillness. Rising again after being broken is one of the hardest battles any human can face. Rising again, rebuilding, resetting your life after being broken is one of the hardest battles any human can face. It takes courage to stand when your heart has been shattered, when trust has been betrayed, or when dreams have crumbled. But the act of rising is not about pretending that everything is fine. It is about refusing to let your suffering define your identity. Every scar tells a story of survival, not defeat. Every scar tells a story of survival, not defeat. The strength, the strength to rise is born from the realization that though life may have wounded you, it has not ended you. Yeah, though life may have wounded you, it hasn't ended you. So the strength to rise again, the strength to rise again is born from the realization that though life may have wounded you, but it has not ended you. Meaning you can become more, you can become better. The strength to rise again is born from the realization that look, though life may have wounded you, it has not ended you. You are still here, still breathing, and that means you still have purpose. You are still here, you are still breathing, and as long as you have life, it means you still have purpose, still breathing. Together, what is left is to honor the fragments that remain after life's storms. Together, to pick the pieces of what is left is to honor the fragments that remain after life's storm. To be able to gather what is left is to honor the fragments that remain after life's storms. It is the act of reclaiming your power, piece by piece, with patience and self-compassion. Sometimes what is left may not look like much, just remnants of faith, traces of hope, or a small amber of willpower. But it is enough. From the smallest spark, fire can be rekindled. So what you know gas in so match that. While the gas is on, we will say even the smallest spark can rekindle fire. Can rekindle fire. So sometimes what is left may not look like much, just remnants of faith, traces of hope, or a small amber of willpower. But that is enough. Because from the smallest spark, fire can be rekindled. From the tiniest seed, new life can grow. What matters is not what was lost, but what you choose to do to what remains. What matters is not what is lost or what was lost, but what you choose to do with what remains. Movement is the bridge between pain and progress. Movement. Movement is the bridge between pain and progress. Staying still in your suffering only deepens the wounds. But taking a step, no matter how small, creates the momentum for transformation. Progress is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it's just quiet. slow, and deeply personal. It is choosing to get up, to try again, to believe that something better still awaits. The decision to move forward is the moment you reclaim authorship of your story. The moment to move forward. The moment you decide to move forward, regardless of your pain, regardless of your brokenness, is the moment you reclaim authorship of your story. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become an active participant in your own rebirth. In your own rebirth. Yeah? You stop being a victim of your circumstance and become an active participant in your own rebirth. In the end, life does not reward perfection. It rewards perseverance. Life does not reward perfection. It rewards perseverance. The world will not pause for your healing, but it would open its arms to those who keep walking, even when it hurts. As long as we keep moving forward, marching on regardless, the world will open its arms and embrace us, even when it hurts. Every forward motion, every act of endurance, every refusal to stay broken is the testament to the indomitable human spirit. You may not feel ready, but readiness often comes in the doing, not in the waiting. Thinking and hoping and praying and desiring and wanting, nothing would happen for you. Readiness often comes in the doing, not in the waiting. So rise, gather what is left of you, your courage, your lessons, your faith. What again you can add to the rest? And move, march on regardless. Whatever that has happened was just an accident. Don't dwell in the accident scene. March on regardless. Let your brokenness become the birthplace of your strength. Let your brokenness become the birthplace of your strength. For progress does not begin when life becomes easy. It begins when you decide that even in your brokenness, you will not stop moving forward. It begins when you declare to your soul that even in your brokenness, you build the life you desire. The life you want, you build it. You rebuild your life at all costs. You are willing and ready to pay the price for the life you desire. So in conclusion, let's find out, how can you reset your life when everything feels lost? How can you reset your life when everything feels lost? There comes a time when everything feels out of rhythm, when what once made sense no longer does, when joy feels distant, and when even simple things feel heavy. It is the quiet ache of realizing that somewhere along the line you lost touch with yourself. If you haven't had awareness yet, pay attention, because once a while this awareness comes when your soul have a conversation with your spirit, because you have the awareness that you deserve more out of this life. It is the quiet ache, the ache of realizing that somewhere along the line you lost touch with yourself. You've given too much, endured too long, or wandered too far from the person you hoped to become. In that moment, you don't need to give up. You need a reset. You need a reset. Resetting your life is not about erasing the past, or pretending nothing happened. It is about acknowledging that you have outgrown a certain chapter and choosing deliberately to write a new one. Resetting your life is not about erasing the past or pretending nothing happened. It is accepting, acknowledging that you have indeed outgrown a certain chapter of your life and therefore choosing intentionally to write a new chapter. Choosing intentionally to write a new chapter. It is an act of courage, the kind that says, I may be bruised, but I am not broken. I can begin again. I may be bruised, but I'm not broken. I can begin again anytime from anywhere. So, number one, acknowledge where you are now, today, in this phase, in this season of your life. Acknowledge where you are. Every transformation begins with truth. You can't reset a life you refuse to face. You can pretend, you can lie to everybody, but you can't lie to your own soul. You can't lie to your own soul. So, number one, acknowledge where you are right now. Because every transformation begins with truth. There is no way you reset your life when you refuse to, a life you refuse to face. Be honest with yourself about what is weighing you down. The habits that drain you, the relationships that stifle you, the fears that keep you small. Acknowledge them. Sometimes it's not the world holding us back. It is our attachment to what no longer serves us, to the things we've outgrown, to places and to environments we have outgrown and still trying to fit in there. That is what is holding us back. So, in order to reset your life, acknowledge where you are, the season of your life right now. Take a moment to pause, breathe, and admit what is not working. It's painful, yes, but clarity is the birthplace of change. So take a moment, pause, breathe, and admit what is not working. If something is supposed to be working in your life, what is that supposed to be? Number two, let go of what no longer fits. Let go of what no longer fits. The hardest part of a reset is release. The hardest part of any form of resetting is release. Letting go of people, places, and versions of yourself that no longer align with your growth. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. Every time you release something that is weighing you down, you make space for something better to enter. Every time you release something that is weighing you down, you make space, you create a room for something better to enter. You can't step into a new season while carrying the baggage of the old. None of us can step into a new season while carrying the baggage of the old, like pouring a new wine into an old wineskin. Let's go with gratitude, not anger. Thank the past for its lessons, then walk away, knowing that your story isn't ending, it is evolving. Number three, redefine what matters. Redefine what matters. What really matters to you at this point in your life? Every other thing is just noise. Redefine what matters. Sometimes we chase what the world celebrates, only to discover it leaves us empty. It is not about what the world is celebrating. What really matters to you? Redefine what matters. Number three, success without peace, love without respect, activity without purpose. These are illusions of fulfillment. When everybody else sees you and think you are doing so well, you are so busy, and yet you are not productive, you are not fruitful. There's a huge difference between being busy and being fruitful. So don't we shouldn't allow the world to dump on us what successful life means, and we lose our peace in our quest to be successful. Love without respect, activity without purpose, just running in circles when everybody thinks we are doing so well, and yet we are just running in circles. No purpose, no directions. These are illusions of fulfillment. Resetting your life means pausing to ask, what truly matters to me now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now, today. At this point in my life, what truly matters to me? Not what mattered to me 5 years ago, not what others expect, but what aligns with my soul today. What aligns with your soul today, now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today, now. When your life is guided by your own values, not borrowed expectations, you stop running in circles and start walking in purpose. When your life, when my life is guided by our own values, not borrowed expectations, we stop running in circles and start walking in purpose. You have a direction. You are fighting a cause. You minimize distractions because you know where you are going. You know what you are following. Number four, rebuild one habit at a time. Rebuild one habit at a time. Rebuild one habit at a time. Real change doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes when I hear people speaking about change, I just wink and pass. That might be magic. Real change doesn't happen overnight. We'll go to sleep today, wake up tomorrow morning, and hooray, there comes the new 2.0 of you. It doesn't happen like that. That will not even be a miracle. That will be a magic. Real change doesn't happen overnight. It happens in moments of quiet consistency. Wake up earlier, drink more water, read for 10 minutes, journal your thought, take a walk, pray or reflect. These small acts of self discipline are bricks that rebuild your confidence and self trust. These are just mine I've put there. You can put yours in there. Small act of self discipline, even waking up and laying in your bed and sweeping your place, things you take note, you schedule to do, you do them. Little acts of discipline, self-discipline. These small acts of self-discipline are bricks that rebuild the confidence and self-trust. Every time we keep a promise to ourselves, no matter how small, we prove to our spirit that we are capable of change. And don't just do it today and tomorrow you stop. That when you wake up and you're excited, you lay your bed, and the next day is just like that. No, it becomes a part of you. Before you take your bath, you lay your bed. Every time we keep a promise to ourselves, no matter how small, we prove to our spirits that we are capable of change. That's how the reset begins. Not with a big leap, but with steady, faithful steps forward. If it has to do with your finances, now you know every money that comes to your hand, how you make a budget for it. Making budget is not for the rich or the poor. It's for everybody who don't want to wake up and ask, where did my money go? If it has to do with your health, you are consistent with what you eat, how you exercise, how you take your medications, how you honor your doctor's appointment consistently. Not just doing it for a month and then you get back into yebewu say yeah, there will be abewu, and then a woman, then you restart and then you stop along the line. No. The small, consistent self-discipline. We steady, faithful steps forward. Number 5, forgive yourself. Many of us have trained our souls and spirit to forgive everybody. People disrespect us, they betray us, they treat us unfairly. We are easily and quickly forgive them. But when it comes to yourself, you can't. You don't know how to forgive yourself. The things you can't even tell your friends, you can tell yourself. You can insult your own soul. You never say good things about yourself. How come, if we don't want good things to happen for us and we're still anticipating a better life, don't we think there will be dissonance in our spirit and our souls? You don't believe that you deserve something better. You don't believe that something better can happen for you and you are still anticipating for a better life. Don't you know there will be dissonance between your body and your soul, between your spirit and your soul? That is what gets people miserable, depression. You cannot reset a life you are still condemning. You can encourage everybody. You can empower everybody. You can forgive everybody. You can encourage, give everybody a shoulder to cry on. And yet you can never look at your own self in the mirror and speak good things to your soul. How come? How come? You can't speak good things to your soul, and yet you can give everybody a helping hand, a shoulder to cry on, giving people handkerchiefs to wipe their tears before even asking them what happened. And yet you can't forgive yourself when you err. You cannot reset a life you are still condemning. And nothing good can come to your life when you don't believe you deserve a better life. There will be dissonance when you don't believe you deserve a better life and you are still fighting for a better life. You will just work and nothing good will happen for you. As a man thinketh in his heart. Do we think with our hearts? No. If it doesn't change in our minds, it can't change in our hearts. If it doesn't change in our hearts, it can't change in our attitude. And if it doesn't change in our attitude and actions, we can't get that results. So if you don't believe you deserve better, nothing better will come your way. As a matter of fact, you frustrate everybody around you because you dump your negativity on them. If you don't accept you deserve better, you can work the hardest, you can pray the hardest, you can cry the loudest. Nothing good can happen for you. It will just be from one struggle to the other. So number 5, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know then. Because of course we don't know what we don't know. You can never reset a life you are still condemning. If you are condemning your own life and think your life is hard, your life is difficult because of the mistakes, because of the poor choices, nothing good can happen for you. You can never reset a life you are still condemning. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know then. But now that you know, if you don't use what you know, it won't be any devil's fault. So yes, forgive yourself for what you didn't know then. You didn't know then. Your choices were poor because you didn't know better. Forgive yourself for the chances you didn't take. Forgive yourself for the time you lost trying to please everybody. You did the best you could with what you knew. Now you know better, and that means you can do better. And that means you should choose better. And that means you should desire better. Self-forgiveness is freedom. It is how you reclaim your power from regrets and redirect it towards renewal. Self-forgiveness is freedom. It doesn't mean we should live anyhow, live recklessly, and then say we are forgiving ourselves, so we continue in that kind of life. No. Self-forgiveness is freedom. It is how we reclaim our power from regrets and redirect that power toward renewal. Number 5, move even if you are not ready. Did you hear? Move even if you are not ready. Move even if you are not ready. Today of all days, I didn't feel like being here. From 8 p.m., I didn't even feel like putting my camera on and doing this video. And that is a typical example of life. Sometimes you don't feel like it, but you know you have to. So move even if you are not ready. Even if your emotions are deceiving you. Even if you don't feel all is well with you, still take that action you know is right for your future. Still do the thing you know would bring you that desired change. Still be willing and ready to pay that price. So number 6, move even if you are not ready. Waiting until you are healed or confident enough is just another way fear disguises itself as logic. Waiting until you are healed or confident enough is just another way fear disguises itself as logic. Oh, I was experiencing some small headaches. Oh, I wasn't feeling too good today. Oh, I didn't feel how I would sound. Oh, my voice is tired because I've used it the whole period. Waiting until you are fully healed or confident enough is just another way fear. Fear disguises itself as logic, and you have all the reason to support you not taking the action, but still move. Still move even if you are not ready. You may never feel completely ready, but move anyway. Fear will give you all the reasons why you are not healed enough, why you are not ready, why you are not confident. You may never feel completely ready, but move anyway. Apply for that job, make that call, start that business, start that idea, say yes to that opportunity, say no to all the distractions. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. Readiness is not a feeling. If I listened to how I felt today, I wouldn't be here. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. Progress begins not when life becomes easy, but when you and I decide that even in our uncertainty, we would move. Progress begins not when life becomes easy or easier, but when we decide that even in our uncertainty, we will still move. Healing often happens while walking, while moving, not while waiting, not when we are still. Number 7, believe that you can begin again. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. It doesn't matter how many times you feel broken. It doesn't matter how many times you are disappointed, betrayed. Believe that you can begin again. Believe that you can reset, you can rebuild, you can rebrand. So number 7, believe that you can begin again. No matter how lost you feel, your story is not over. You are not too late, too broken, or too far gone. It's a lie from the pits of hell. You are not too late. You are right on time. You are not too late, not too broken, or too far gone. You see, life has a mysterious way of using even our detours and heartbreaks to lead us toward purpose. Did you hear? Life has a mysterious way of using even our detours and setbacks to lead us forward. You can start again, wiser, stronger, and more aligned than before. Yeah, you can start again and again and again, wiser, stronger, and more aligned than before. The reset is not the end of your story. It's the moment you choose to rewrite it. Rewrite it with grace, courage, and faith. Faith that your best days are still ahead. The reset is not the end of your story. It is the moment you choose to rewrite it. To rewrite it with grace, faith, courage that your best days are still ahead. So rise, dust off the past, dust off your brokenness, gather what is left of your strength and your hope. Take that first step, no matter how small. Because progress doesn't begin when everything is perfect. It begins the moment you refuse to stay broken. Should I repeat? Progress doesn't begin when everything is perfect. It begins the moment you refuse to stay broken. So a lot of things have happened to you, but staying broken becomes a choice, a decision. The pain wasn't your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. Staying broken becomes your choice, your decision. It is therefore no more about what broke you, but the choice to stay broken becomes your decision. It becomes your decision to stay broken. It becomes your decision. So, yes, life does not pause for any of us because of our pain. So, all we can do is to gather our strength, pick up the pieces, and to keep marching forward. In the comment section there, let me hear what resonated with and what you also want to share for other people to equally learn. Until I come your way again in my next video, I say much love and blessings. Have a fruitful week. Not just a busy week, but a fruitful week where all your vision and your pursuit will align with who you are and where you are going with your life. Much love and blessings.